This T.I. and Tiny situation is getting crazier and crazier by the day. Um, we now have a lawyer by the name of Tyrone Blackburn who is based in New York, and he claims to be representing 11 women who are accusing T.I. and Tiny anonymously. They're accusing them anonymously of drugging and raping them. And he's on a mission to destroy T.I. and Tiny. He says he wants federal charges filed as soon as possible, despite having no physical proof that any of these chicks uh, were actually harmed by T.I. and Tiny. He says that he's on a mission to protect black women, and he's trying to rile up black women in the black community to hop on a bandwagon and support the cause to get T.I. and Tiny thrown in jail and destroyed. So basically, he paid attention to what the Savages did to R.Kelly in the beginning with how they got their attorney to come out here and paint a narrative and rile up the community and make it seem like T.I. and Tiny are dangerous individuals who need to be stopped and they have to protect black women and blah, 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 blah. And of course, the black community is going to fall for it like we always do, because we love to see successful black people destroyed. And by we, I don't mean me. I do not mean me, because I never had a crab in the barrel mentality. I never have a desire to see anybody fall from grace. I never have a desire to see anybody lose their income and be destroyed. I just don't have that in me. I want to see everybody be a success. Whatever God has for you is whatever God has for you. But I see a lot of people on social media calling for T.I. to lose every job he has, every acting job. He got fired from the Ant-Man movie, so he will not be in the upcoming Ant-Man movie. And of course, the reality show has been canceled. And they're calling on all other business ventures he's involved with to be ceased. They want all business ventures to, they want his business partners to pull out or whatever ventures they got going on. This whole situation is disgusting. Tyrone Blackburn is best friends with Sabrina Peterson. Sabrina Peterson is the chick who got all of this shit started on social media. And they actually went live together, and he was talking about the case like a dumbbell. And you can tell he is so geeked about all the fame he's getting. He's a young attorney. He has never tried a case. And all of a sudden, he has 11 accusers of T.I. And he is on a mission to make a name for himself. And he doesn't care if T.I. and Tiny get destroyed in the process. I feel sorry for T.I. and Tiny. They didn't hop on the bash R.Kelly bandwagon. So I'm gonna feel sorry for them. They didn't hop on the bandwagon. They didn't defend him, but they didn't hop on the bandwagon. So I can support them through that difficult time. But I hope they know what they're up against. I hope they know what they're up against, because in this era, it is the wrong era to have accusations of any sexual nature. Especially if you're a black man. Because if you're a black man, you're guilty before you even step in the courtroom. You have to prove yourself innocent once you get in the courtroom, not the other way around. You are guilty until proven innocent once you're a black man in America. They're on a mission to get him. They want T.I. destroyed. And you have Lisa Van Allen is a close friend of this Sabrina Peterson chick. So when I found that out, I said, oh yeah, this definitely is a setup. Lisa Van Allen is involved. Lisa Van Allen just cannot stop. She cannot mind her own business. First, she stalked R.Kelly for 20 years. Now she is working with Sabrina Peterson to bring down T.I. These whores are outrageous. Protect black women. What are we protecting them from? I'm a black woman, and I know not to go to nobody's house and take no drugs and do no threesome. I'm not involved in the foolishness. So you mean to tell me that these whores could not have decided to not go to T.I.'s house. They did everything willingly. They went over there. They knew what time it was. They knew they were coming to fuck and suck on T.I. They knew they were coming to screw Tiny as well. They knew they were about to get paid. And they did drugs willingly and partied with him. And then, T.I. probably kicked him out, didn't give him no more money. They probably thought, ooh, I'm going to have a threesome with T.I. and Tiny. And then he going to like my pussy so good. He going to think my pussy so good. And he going to leave Tiny and get with me and spoil me. And nah, he sent him back to the hood. And that's what they angry about. That's what this is about. Nobody got raped, y'all. I'm sick and tired of these prostitutes coming out here and talking about we need to feel sorry for them and we need to protect black women when they make decisions to be whores. When you make a decision to actively go out here and do whole shit, you cannot come back years later and talk about, ooh, this is about protecting black women. No, I protect black girls. Little black girls who have been really kidnapped and raped. Not hoes that want to sit up here and fuck on rappers and have threesomes and gangbangs and then want to come back 20 years later, 10 years later and say, oh my God, why y'all ain't protecting black women? It don't work that way, bitch. It don't work that way. These people should have supported R.Kelly. All of these industry people are going to regret that they didn't have R.Kelly's back because they all about to get taken down. And maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe that's what needs to happen in order for these people to get some loyalty in their system. It didn't matter if they liked R.Kelly or not. They should have said, you know what? We want him to have due process. They could at least said that. Nobody said anything. Nobody stood up for him. Nobody stood up for R.Kelly. Now they all about to get taken down because it's a lot of people who hang out with T.I. at these parties. One girl said he forced her to have sex with Nelly back in 2015. Said T.I. had sex with me, then he told me, you better go in there and suck Nelly dick. And I felt I had no choice but to suck Nelly dick. These fools are outrageous. I swear to God. How do you get caught up in a fucking situation like that? How do you get caught up in a fucking situation to where you're going to a married man's house? You're going to screw him and his wife. You know you're going to get paid for sucking dick and eating pussy and doing whatever else you're doing. And then you got your little $2,000-$3,000 for the night. And you want to come back 10 years later, 15 years later and say you were violated. You weren't violated. You was just a hoe. And it's okay to be a hoe. It's okay. I'm not trying to shame people for hoeing. Get your money how you get your money, but don't come out here and be a victim. That's when I have a problem with it. We have real victims out here who do not get help. We have all these little black girls, these little tiny innocent black girls that go missing, who are probably being raped and forced to do things that they don't want to do. These innocent, beautiful little black children. And we are talking about hoes who want to suck dick and want to fuck and who want to screw. And I'm tired of it. Let's have a Me Too movement for the kids that are really getting kidnapped and sold for body parts or whatever the fuck is going on down there in Atlanta and other places. Let's help them. Not these strippers. These strippers that went over there and fucked T.I. and fucked Nelly and whoever else was over there. Say T.I. put his foot in her vagina. I said, what? I don't believe he did all that. I was reading some of this shit. I said, this is impossible. That man ain't do all this. But this is what happens when you're a celebrity and when you want to have all these sex parties. T.I. and Tiny need to stop having these threesomes. The marriage bed needs to be undefiled as of right now. No more other women coming in. T.I. needs to control his hormones because it ain't worth all these problems. He needs to be having sex with Tiny and Tiny alone. Because these women out here will destroy him. They're talking about, oh, we need to make sure that T.I. lose custody of his kids. Why would you want to see a black man lose custody of his kids? Are y'all going to take care of his kids? Are y'all going to write his kids a check? If T.I. go to jail, all you people that calling for T.I. to go to jail, are y'all going to write his kids a check when he go up the road, him and Tiny? Y'all not going to do nothing for these people. It's a shame how evil people can be. I don't want to see anybody lose custody of their kids. I don't want to see any black man lose his freedom for foolishness that I know is foolishness. Because I tell you right now, I put myself in the situation. Everybody was on social media saying, oh, you got to put yourself in the stripper situation. A stripper is a person. Yeah, strippers are people too. And I don't have a problem with anybody stripping, but I put myself in the situation. I said, what if I was a stripper? And then I get invited to T.I. and Tiny's house, and they say, Karis, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you 4 stacks to come over here and have sex with me and my wife. And let's say, I say, okay, I'll go over there. And when I get to the door, it's a man at the door saying, you got to take this cocaine, and you got to take this ecstasy pill, and you got to take this other pill that you really don't know nothing about in order to get in the house. You need to be fucked up. First thing I'm doing is saying, thank you, God bless you, good night, and I'm getting the hell on. I'm not going to enter the room. If somebody tells you you have to enter a room high and you have to do drugs before you enter a room, you can simply not go. So that's where I lose sympathy and respect, because all of these women had a choice. You had a choice to say no. You had a choice to say, you know what, I'm not going to go and do drugs and get high and do God knows what with God knows who. You have a choice. You know, there's always choices in life. I do not believe T.I. held anybody down and forced him to take drugs. I believe drugs were offered. And I believe they were told, hey, you want to do some coke? You got to do some coke. You got to party with us in order to enter, because we don't know if you're real or not. You got to party with us. I believe they were told that. But you still had a choice. I would have came through the door. So anytime I see all these comments, but we need to put ourselves in these black women's shoes, I can't put myself in their shoes, because I would not put myself in that fucking situation. Never would I ever put myself in a situation to where I'm taking drugs. I've never done a pill in my life. I've never done a drug in my life. I'm not that type of person. I don't party like that. I've never been into partying and getting high and doing all that dumb shit. I've been very, protective of my body, and my health. I don't want to do drugs and have sex with random people and do threesomes. I'm not into chicks and all that dumb shit. So the first thing we need to talk about is, when are we going to hold these women accountable for their sexual behavior? We need to start holding women accountable, other women accountable for their sexual behavior. Hold R.Kelly's accusers accountable for their whoredom, and hold T.I.'s accusers accountable for their whoredom. I'm tired of seeing, the man being dragged through the mud, and in this case, a man and his wife, for something that was consensual. Let's focus on real victims. Let's focus on real women who need help. That's what I want to see happen. But anyway, shout out to T.I. and Tiny, and as usual, free R. Kelly, free R. Kelly, free R. Kelly.